What do we take away from this? Let's return to the real question. Are your leaders incompetent, unqualified people compromising national security?
Yes! 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 Yes!
While Trump's incompetent posse illustrate their utter deference to senior man-titties, you have to wonder if there's a cure for their disease.
I believe in hate speech. When you have hate for somebody, I am 100% into speech.
A disease that causes one to completely abandon both principle and honor to country and man. Also, they can keep their hold on to a slice of power that fewer and fewer people respect or even acknowledge.
I think he's a kook. I think he's uninformed.
Here's why I'm with Trump.
While Hegseth, Gabbard, and even Dairy Queen lie through their asses about what's classified and what's not.
This was not only sloppy, it not only violated all procedures, but if this information had gotten out, American lives could have been lost.
To your knowledge, do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
I don't have any knowledge of Secretary Hegseth's personal habits.
As I also stated yesterday, nobody's texting war plans. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools.
With everything happening in the world, a handful of drunk little piglets bombed Yemen with a few iPhones and hopefully only killed terrorists. But we probably killed innocents as well.
PBS's Travis Smiley stated that Christians blow up people every single day. Haven't seen that ever happen in my life.
Why do I say that? Because the people in charge view their actions with a complete disregard for the consequences and treat it more like a video game in their parents' rec room. These texts, passed back and forth like recipes, talk about killing people whom we've never met or have little or no ability to hurt Americans in the near or distant future. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't stop terrorists or even use lethal force, but I have to ask this. Can you trust this drunk to kill the right people? Because his mother doesn't.
In a 2018 email to her son obtained by the New York Times, Penelope Hegseth wrote, "On behalf of all the women, and I know it's many, you have abused in some way, I say get some help and take an honest look at yourself."
Why is it we always seem to have the wrong people in the most important positions?
They had what?
I mean, Republicans chose Trump over Liz Cheney. One person raped a woman with his fingers in a department store dressing room.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
And another sacrificed her power and position to say the truth.
I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
But occasionally there are people in the right positions at the right time saying absolutely the right thing. Listen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think insanity is a good word for what's happening here on the House floor today. Another good word is bizarre. You know, when I go home and I tell my constituents what happens in these halls, they're amazed. And today is one of those days where I'm like, what the hell are these folks doing? Because while our economy is in crisis, while groceries and housing are at an all-time high, while our veterans and our firefighters and our teachers are being illegally fired, while Elon Musk is dismantling the U.S. Department of Education, and while the Secretary of Defense is trying to cover up the most incompetent national security leak I have ever heard of in my life, the Republicans in the House are trying to save the American people from the scourge of walk-in cooler and refrigeration efficiency standards. That's right. We are here wasting precious debate time on the U.S. House of Representatives floor, debating, dismantling efficiency standards for walk-in refrigerators. How out of touch are you with the American people? Like, literally, I know you're not holding town halls and meeting with your constituents anymore, but you think that the American people voted for you to waste our time on refrigeration standards? That's what you think you were elected to do? Literally, how out of touch are you? Because no American voted. No American, I don't care where you are on the ideological spectrum, you did not vote for this. This is ridiculous, it's preposterous, and it's just stupid.
Everything she said is not only true, it's also tragic. The government is not a business. Its only function should be to serve the people. And by that, I don't mean offering your ass up to billionaires so they might offer you a pinch. Elon! No, as the Arizona representative said, this is an insane moment in the relatively brief history of the United States. We have put the most incompetent people in power in the most dangerous time in the world.
Gas prices are high now. Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
RFK said doctors found a worm in his brain that had eaten part of his brain.
There is zero evidence that the flu shot prevents any hospitalizations or any deaths. The flu shot transmits the flu.
American lives could have been lost. The Houthis had this information, could reposition their defensive systems. So I want to get a little more information about this. Director Gabbard, did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address. So you're not. Are you denying? Matt, will you answer my question, ma'am? You were not TG on this group chat?
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
So you refuse to acknowledge whether you were on this group chat?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security Council.
Because it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
We're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
I have the absolute right to pardon myself.
Indictable.
If there's a Hall of Fame for f***ups, you just saw the graduating class. The volume of their ignorance is so loud as to drown out voices of reason and honor. And while Trump directs the chorus, the voices belong to the Republican Party and trickle down to these ugly Americans, drawn to the din of hate and fear echoing across this nation.
America is for Americans and Americans only.
The great American experiment can't last forever, but it doesn't have to end now.
We sit in the house and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
What must happen, however, is Americans need to speak out and show these Trumpy shit monkeys that, like Howard Beale,
I'm as mad as hell.
We're not going to take it.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. Well, that works too.
Goddamn right.
It's not fair.
They had what? Bloated and fat and disgusting.
I like that.
We're a nation that speaks English.
Look, if something like that thing's goggling.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
TikTok.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.